Got a story out from this morning at LouisianaSports.net about the LSU secondary and kind of finding its way back to DBU. And make no mistake, the product that has been out there really the last 5 years since 2019 has just not been representative. In 2020, Stingley was in and out. Ricks was a true freshman. They got torched by KJ Costello in Mississippi State, and they were a little bit better towards the end of the season, but it wasn't great. And then 2021, like you had Stingley still not fully healthy and kind of playing through it, and Ricks left, and you then had Kelly's first year where you had to go to the portal and go grab, Jark Bernard Converse and some of those guys, and you haven't had the constant barrage of stars in the secondary that you would hope for. And I don't know that LSU has stars in this secondary. I think it's possible, but I don't know that. There are a lot of falls that I've been watching this team, covering this team, paying attention to this team, where you knew where the stars were in that secondary. But Ashton Stamps talked to the media yesterday and spoke about the confidence that he now has that wasn't there his first year. I mean, it was 2 years ago. That was a terrible 2023 defense. He was a 3-star recruit, as he said yesterday, the last guy to get an offer in his class. And he is out there trying to run around with SEC athletes. And he just wasn't ready to do it, but he had to because they didn't have anybody else. And it's hard to be confident when you're giving up truckloads of passing yards. It just is. And last year, Stamps was a very productive player. You look statistically at what he did last year, and you're talking about a guy who was, I believe, second in the SEC in pass breakups with 14 last year. And that's a heck of a year. He didn't have an interception, but he did third in the SEC in pass breakups. So I want to make sure I had that right, with 14. And that's solid. But LSU still wasn't very good last year in pass defense. They're going to be better this year. I can see that in fall camp. I've told you this plenty of times. The reps we saw in fall camp the last 2 years have just been dominated by the offense. And you saw a team that was 118th out of 133 in pass defense 2 years ago. And last year they were 76th. That was 10th in the SEC. That's not good. That's bad. And so Stamps said, look, we brought in Mansour Delane, and that's a dude who knows a lot of ball. We talk about it. And then he talked about his communication with the safeties, with Cooley and Hulsey. He talked about them using virtual reality with Clemson's stadium in the background and Clemson's players there, and you each put on a VR headset and you're looking at the same thing and you can communicate that way. But he said that there's a confidence that those guys have that he hasn't seen before at LSU. And as I think about the LSU defensive back groups that I've seen out on the practice field, all I think about is confidence. That's all I think about from guys like Patrick Peterson and Morris Claiborne. That's all I think about from Tyrann Mathieu and Brandon Taylor, Jalen Mills, Derek Stingley, Christian Fulton, Eric Reed, Jamal Adams, Grant Delpit. Like, all I think about when I think about those guys is confidence and edge and swagger and playmaking and highlight reel stuff and Thorpe Awards and first-round picks and multi-million-dollar NFL contracts. And you're not there yet, but you're working in the right direction. I think LSU is going to be very good at safety this year. And I think my confidence level in LSU's cornerbacks from 3 weeks ago to today has grown. We talked about Pickett at the end of hour number 1 with Meet the Freshman. We're talking about Stamps now, Delane. I think LSU is starting to get back to its roots with DBU. Now look, that first game, this sounds like last year because I was talking that first game, Lincoln Riley, Miller Moss, throw it all over the place. It sounds like last year. That first game, Cade Klubnik, 3 stud receivers that were awesome last year for Clemson, that's a heck of an opening test. But I think when the dust settles from that game, whether LSU wins or loses, I think you'll learn a lot about what this cornerback and safety group have. And my gut tells me it's going to be significantly better. I think they're going to make plays on the ball. I think they're going to get turnovers. I think they're going to make tackles. I think they're going to talk trash. I think they're going to put that DBU label back on their chest. Because that was a brand play. That was a look at me play type deal, but it was real. It was a real thing. And it has been gone for 5 years. Gone. And to me, I think you're looking at a group that may be able to reignite that fire. Tyrann was here the other day. No doubt he's going to be talking those dudes up. But Ashton Stamps is not a big talker. And for him to say yesterday in press conference, like, I'm more confident now, everybody's more confident now, I think you're going to see that on the field, and I'm excited to watch it. There's a big story up, LouisianaSports.net right now. It's titled, Stamps DBs Ready to Restore DBU. So go check that out for free on LouisianaSports.net. Also, I have a story up on LouisianaSports.net from today where I settle 3 different position battles from fall camp. I think 3 of them in the last week have been determined, and I'll give you those thoughts. Did at the top of the show, but also for free at LouisianaSports.net. Appreciate it if you go check that out for free right there on the website. Well, hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.